Hello again, this is Albert Bockenstedt, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about as part two of the 401k series that we're doing, target date funds. Are you ready for the income shock? I want to warn you, I'm going to be saying some things that may tick you off, or you may not be realizing, or you haven't thought about before. This hands-off investment solution that automatically adjusts with your retirement timeline, designed for investors to seek a simplistic with sophisticated investment management. I understand the need for it. I was in them for a period of time. And then I realized something very, very important. And we're going to get into this video. So let's go right into it. What are target date funds? If you don't know what these are funds that you tell them when you want to retire or when you're going to end up retiring within 5-year time span, and they're going to invest your money for you based on how old you are and some risk profiles, and also and they're going to weight the different levels of investments where it's going to start with maybe a large portion of stocks, then you have bonds, and then you have cash. And it's going to start at a higher level. We're going to get into this, but these funds follow a glide path. Basically, it changes over time as you get closer to retirement. These are professionally managed accounts that you pay for you pay for the fee to have one of these funds. They're more active in your account, but it's based on when you want to retire. So early stage allocation. A lot of early stage allocation, if you're done in your 30s or your 20s and your 30s, you're going to have about 80% in equities. That's your stocks, right? And you're going to have stocks in the United States markets, and you're going to have the international stocks. So it's there to basically capture as much growth as you possibly can off those stocks. And they can be large caps, small caps, also international stocks too. Then you're going to have about 15% bonds, and then you might have 5% of alternatives like REITs. So that's when you're young. And as you get older, during mid-stage allocation rebalancing, basically they rebalance it, right? They're shifting from out of stocks into bonds. They're starting to change the way that whole profile is working. So as you get older, it's changing. It's going from growth, and over time, it's going to more stability, to hopefully somewhat of income, if you're kind of thinking about like a fixed income type of product. And then you may be allocating down to 5 to 10% in cash based on how old you are. So as you near retirement, your equities are going to start shifting from, remember, it was at 80%, now it's down to 40 to 50%. Bonds is going to increase up to 40 to 50%, and cash maybe 10 to 15, depending on what your liquidity needs are. This is very important to understand as you're getting close to retirement. This is what those life cycle funds are doing, these target date funds. They have different names for whoever you're with. And I want you to think about something very important. We just talked about how when you're young, they're investing in stocks that are trying to appreciate as fast as possible to boost that your account value as fast as possible, to increase it as fast as possible. Then over time, it's going to move over into bonds and into more theoretically stable investments. Now, if you know anything in the past few years, I'm sitting in 2025 right now. Past few years, it's not been good to bonds at all. They've been just negative returns. So if you're moving into that and you're buying that, bonds are not stocks. bonds are a fixed income thing, right? So if they do become non-investable and you're investing in bonds, why are you doing that? I'm just thinking about it. Everybody goes, well, we're worried about the crash in the stock market. Okay, we can get crashes in bonds too. It's a market, right? So things go up and things go down and things go to stay the same. Even our cash or so, United States dollar goes down 2% a year, and it only gets stronger against other currencies. But they designed it to have a 2% um, to set up inflation. They want a 2% inflation every year. So it loses value 2% every year based on inflation. And if inflation goes up beyond that, it gets worse, right? So as you're going through retirement, and if you remember, if you remember these, if you've been paying attention for the last couple of years, bonds have been going down. Cash is always going down. You may be just realizing it because we have had a lot higher inflation rates. They said it was only 7%. I don't know. I don't know how you cut certain things that you may buy, maybe even doubled, tripled. That's not just 7% increase, and that's double and tripling, right? Just for example, a dozen eggs. What did they end up costing? They went crazy this year. So just think about that. So this is how over your lifespan and how these allocations move from when in 2023, then in 2023 to 2045, you're along the way at 2030, you go 2023, 2035, 2045, 2055. Those dates, and this is how they're rebalancing all these investments, right? Take a look at that. Is this what you really want to be doing? And here's the reason why I'm asking this question. When do you spend most of your money? This is a very important question. When do you spend most of your money? When you're at work or when you are at home? You're probably going to say at home. Okay. When do you spend most of your money? Because you've been working your whole life. When do you spend most of your money? Is it at work, at home, or when you're on vacation? A lot of people say, well, yeah, I just blow money on vacation. It's not like buying a house or anything like that. What I'm saying is, when do you spend your money? If you're in retirement years and you're not working anymore, you're going to pick up hobbies. Hobbies cost money. You're going to be going to visit people. That costs money, gas, all those types of things. Going on vacation, from your vacation, those types of things, right? You're going to be spending more money because you're not at work. And what's happening with your account, it's actually getting more conservative, trying to hold on to as much cash as possible and turn it into income. Now, bonds, they're hurt right now. They're not producing income like they should be doing. Now, depending on what type of stocks you're invested in, they may be producing income. Are those stocks, do they have dividends? I don't know. Do you know what they're invested in? They're supposed to be able to tell you on what they're invested in. So why choosing these target date funds? Why choose them? Okay, I get it for first part in your career when you are trying to learn, trying to just learn your job and you're going into a 401k. I always encourage everyone, no matter how old you are, you're starting that job and they're going to do whatever they do to match your 401k. Put as much money as you can in there to get the full match, whatever that is. If it's a 1-for-1 swap up to 5%, put in 5%, then you just 100%, you just doubled your money, right? It's a 100% increase. If you have to put in 6 and they put in 5, okay, that's good. That's free money for you. Put that minimum in and then think about what to do with the rest of it, okay? And I'm going to be doing some other videos on how to manage your portfolio and how to start generating cash flow in your retirement account now. It's going to be in a later video. I don't have time to do it in this one, but you want to learn how to generate cash flow. If you start generating cash flow now, because you can only put in so much, you can save so much to get into your 401k, and then you're capped out. Well, let's say if you can invest in more, then you have to go somewhere else and put more money in. But if you can't add more money, or you just physically can't save more money, how do you make those investments that are inside of that account to produce more cash flow? The reason why you want cash flow is to make that investment, generate cash for you so you can buy more of that asset again, so you can buy more assets, so you can have that asset generate more income for you. So you can take that money to buy more assets to generate more income. So it starts snowballing. So they choose these target dates where it's automatic management by professionals. I get it. It's very easy, simple to do. Built-in diversification, simplicity, time-appropriate risk. I get that. But what you can do, very simply to give you a heads up, you find out what they do, right? You find out what they're invested in, and you mimic them. But then you manage it to generate cash flow so you can start getting more money at work inside your account, not just by saving that you put in there yourself, but why don't you make that asset that's in there that you bought, why don't you have that go to work for you to generate more cash flow so you can buy more of that asset? It's compounding. You probably saw some videos from me already about compounding in your 401k. You need to understand that, how important that is. So when you get to retirement, you can get these assets. You want as many assets as possible working for you to generate cash flow so it can provide for your lifestyle. So key considerations for you. Understand the expenses. These managed funds cost a little bit higher because of they're going to be managing, they're going to be rebalancing, they're going to be managing it over your lifespan, and they're going to have to adjust everything. The more things they do, the more they're going to cost. That's going to cost you. Check your fund components. This is where you get what they're invested in, and just basically copy them. They're professionals. Okay, take that information. Which stocks are they invested in? You can copy them if you want to. I'm going to show you how to pick. Use the tools that we have to our access today. I'm going to show you how I start looking and picking stocks that I want to invest in. Because one thing I try to do always is look at what stocks traditionally, currently, and are planned to be in the future to outpace the entire market. And then you pick them. Consider your risk tolerance. Can you handle the risk during your lifespan? If an asset, yes, it may be risky, but if it generates cash flow for you, and that's the reason why it generates cash flow, is because it is somewhat risky. Are you okay with that? That's totally up to you. So I want you to think about this and really learn about how to do this process of generating cash flow inside your account so you can get this compounding to happen. When you learn more, your risk tolerance goes up because you understand what the risk tolerance is. If you don't learn, everything's risky to you. But once you understand what the guide rails are and what you can do to minimize your risk, you're going to be so much more knowledgeable and ready for risk if it ever happens. You'll know what to do. So again, my name's Albert Bockenstedt. If you ever want to get in touch with me, you want to reach out to me, you want to get on a Zoom call or anything like that, or want to find more videos on it, there's my YouTube channel. That's how you found me currently. if you want to get together, we can send me an email. We can touch out that. And in the next future videos, I'm going to be talking about some and having some extra documents that you can request. So I want you to watch the next videos as they're coming out and request those to help you identify which stocks to invest in. I am not a financial advisor. I'm just telling you what I'm doing for my investments, and I just need to cover this basic information and maybe have you think a little bit differently about what's happening in your retirement accounts now. As I said, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a tax advisor. Those are very important to have those advisors, but you need to have the information to be able to question what they're doing and understand how they're trying to help you or not help you. So thank you very much for showing up to the video. We'll see you in the next one.